everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Ripple Effect Podcast. My name is Daniel. We're so glad that you're with us, whether you are listening to this on the go or watching this. We are happy that you are here. In the studio, I have Miss Rachel Busen on my left and Mr. Levi Black on my right, and we are glad to be with you guys. Before we get to everything that we've got today, we want to let you know about the sponsor of the week. And the sponsor of this week is a backpack. It is back to school week, folks, and I'm sure that you are feeling it, you are seeing it. Everywhere on my any of my feeds for social media is all back to school photos, and they're all beautiful. And I had a dad who he sent his kids to school, and he said, I only have 13 years left with them. He's like, that's what I've got. And then it was like all crying emojis after that. So I don't know. Have you started back to school?
We just ordered Caleb's curriculum yesterday,
yes.
So we'll start when it
gets here.
When it gets here.
Yeah. And this is the first back to school where Levi, you're not going back to school.
First time in 16 years.
What a feeling.
I know. I was sitting there thinking about it like a week ago or a couple weeks ago. I was like, wow. It does feel a little bit weird, but it is very, very nice.
No worry about classes.
Yes.
Homework. None of that is very nice. Very nice.
It was funny because some of the teachers would be like, "Oh, just wait till you have to go to work every day," and it's like, well, no, I'd like to be going to work every day.
Yeah. So if you are sending maybe your senior back to school and it's going to be an emotional year, or your younger children to school for the first time, whatever it is, we are praying for you, and we hope that this school year will be a great year for you and your family. Be praying for the teachers, be praying for the parents, because back to school is always a crazy time where everybody's stressed out because you're trying to learn the new rhythm, the schedules, what am I supposed to be doing? So those first couple of weeks, show grace to a lot of people because they need it. Okay, there you go. The sponsor of the week, a backpack for back to school. We are going to review this past Sunday, which was a couple days ago. And this past Sunday, we talked about here at church about the resurrection. We finished our 1 Corinthians series, and we had a great Sunday morning together. How was your Sunday, Rachel?
It was good. Taught Sunday school. It went well.
Taught Sunday school.
Where are
you teaching right now?
I teach middle school.
The middle schoolers? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. And was there any spills that happened back there? Are we spill free?
No.
Do we have a sign that says how many days since a spill has happened?
No. That is a good
We are
idea,
incident free.
Yeah, well, when Wednesday nights
week.
that'll come back, that'll be a bigger thing. It's more like, who stole all the M&Ms this week? You know you only get one handful,
Anthony.
If
Anthony
you keep
is the
stealing,
answer.
well, it's not Anthony's not.
He's not even there anymore. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So our middle schoolers do their fair share.
I'm sure they do. Levi, what about you?
It was good. Yeah. So I wasn't teaching this week, so
You just got to attend.
Yeah, I was there
Wow.
participating.
That's
That was it.
great.
But Bethany taught, and she did a good job. So.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, we finally finished our series through 1 Corinthians, and that's the longest sermon series I've ever done.
It was good.
How was it for you guys? I'm just curious to be in the same book for that long.
So we did a year in the Sermon on the Mount.
We did. Yeah, you guys. Before I got here, you did John, right? Oh wait, no,
We're
no,
I'm
talking about
talking
in the
Wednesday
youth
nights.
period.
I'm
Oh, for you
saying
guys.
for a year.
You were in Matthew
We were in
5 through
just
7.
the Sermon on the Mount.
Oh, wow. So that's light work. Us as that was easy.
And I love 1 Corinthians, so it's been good. I've loved it.
Yeah, it was a
I
really.
love when you take a whole book and you just go through the book.
Yeah.
It felt very intentional, and it was practical. There's a lot of stuff in there that's there's topics that you don't normally come across and
Or
just
deal with.
normal things. Yeah, so it was really good walking through all of it. And
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So,
And hearing Cheryl talk about them in Willow,
oh yeah.
that was good. I felt like that connected even with when you're talking about the resurrection, you're talking about God
Mm-hmm.
taking things that have no purpose and giving them purpose again. And
Yeah.
you take that and you pair that with a lot of the stuff that you see happening at Diamond Willow, and I think that paired really well.
Yeah, we're looking forward to, if you missed it, we announced that we are taking on a new missionary partner and supporting them now regularly, which is Diamond Willow, which is a ministry to a tribe that's working in South Dakota, and they are doing a lot of great work with the people there. And we're really excited about this partnership because, one, we have some personal connection through a girl who grew up in this church and now is working there, and we actually have some Central grads that are working there. With Andrew, what's his name?
Andrew Thomas.
Andrew Thomas, that's right. I was like, yeah, a real good friend of mine. What's his name?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say Andrew
Super
Johnson, and I was like, it's not Andrew Johnson,
Yeah.
Andrew Thomas, yeah. And but we're excited because it's a place that we can take lots of trips to. And when I say lots of, I just mean, like, it's easier to get there than it is to Haiti. So we're looking forward to being able to get there, to do some ministry with them, and to partner with them even more. So that's exciting. So if you missed any of that and more, you can go to tlcc.church, or here on Facebook or YouTube, you can check out the service, go back and listen to it, and I hope it'll be encouraging for you. All right, let's get to the TLCC top 3 of the week. The first one is Serve Days coming up this Sunday. If you have not signed up for a group, go to tlcc.church/serve or call the office and we can get you connected. We are meeting at 9 a.m. We're going to have a brief service, and then we're going to send out send you out on your projects. The second thing that's happening is Camp Celebration, the 25th at 5:30. And you're talking about this one, right?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Well,
So
hang on one second. Had a cough, sorry. Go ahead.
The camp celebrations on the 25th at 5:30.
What is the Camp Celebration?
So basically, I was
Regurgitate. I appreciate it.
No, so the camp celebration is a time for everybody to come, and a lot of the time it's people who weren't able to come to camp or participate with camp. They can see what all we've been doing, but it's also a great opportunity for campers to come back, connect with the friends that they met over the summer. And so usually we do it like as soon as camp is over. So right after the last week is done, it's like the next Sunday. So we decided to space it out a little bit more this year.
Get it a little further away from the craziness of summer.
Yeah. And so then it'll be a little bit more reconnecting that's happening because you haven't seen those people for most of the summer. So
Yeah.
It's basically just a time to get together and celebrate what happened this year. And then they'll go through, like, each of the deans for the weeks will give a report on what happened during their week, some of the stuff they did, some of the high moments, great things they accomplished. And so it's basically just a big celebration to celebrate what all God was doing while they were there at White Oak.
It's awesome.
This Sunday at 5:30 at the chapel at White Oak Christian Camp.
It is. And there is no meal.
No meal.
Because usually they have, like, bring your own food and
It
stuff.
usually starts like 4 o'clock. They have our early potluck. Mostly so that they can use all the leftovers up.
Yeah, but
after camp season.
since it's a separated time, 5:30, so eat beforehand out at the camp at White Oak Christian Service Camp. All right, and then we have, so you got Serve Day on the 25th. That night, you've got the camp celebration if you want to go out there. And then we have Wednesday night starting back up. Rachel, talk to us about Wednesday nights.
So Wednesday nights are starting back up.
Nailed it!
All right, moving on.
September 11th is when we're going to be starting. We meet from 6:30 to 8, and that is all the way from little kids all the way up to grown adults. So there's nursery for your little ones, there's activities for all your youngsters in Miss Mary's group, there's stuff for your middle schoolers, your high schoolers, and then you get a chance to join a class as an adult.
And the adult classes that are going to be offered, we've got our men's group that meets, and they'll be working together, going through a study. I have a Bible study class that will happen. Miss Jessica Sevitz leads a women's fellowship group that will be going on. And then we have our moms group that meets. Sandy Fincher leads that one, and they have, she usually has some help, another mentor mom in there with her. and they meet as well. So there's multiple classes for you. The one thing we're not doing this fall is Financial Peace University. Sometimes we do that alongside all of our other classes. We're taking a break from that. That will come back in the spring. But you've got men's group, you've got your women's fellowship, your mom's support group, and then a general Bible study that you can attend as an adult. Is there anything that middle school or high school parents need to know?
We're going to be doing 2 separate gym nights this year. That's really the main thing. Is in the past we've been trying to do a combined gym night, and it's a good problem to have, but our numbers have been growing enough that that's just not like a sustainable thing for us to keep going. So we're doing middle school gym nights and high school gym nights.
Yeah.
Don't ask me which one is which yet, because
when does the schedule go out? We're getting the schedule out. It'll get to you at a certain point. I'm sure we'll upload it on the app. Or
it is on the app. It's on the band app.
Yeah.
So everything is on there. Just off the top of my head, I don't know it. So get on the band app.
So my middle
for
school,
all the updates.
My middle school student, Emery, she just got into middle school. She was like, "Dad, they're splitting the nights." And I was like, "Well, that's a good thing, because you don't want a high schooler like a Josiah Owen throwing a dodgeball at your face." And she's like, "He already does." It's like, he was like, "I already do that with him. It's fine."
Yeah.
But no, they're excited about it. So Wednesday nights will be starting up on September 11th, and then we'll go through the fall. And I've got to be honest. Usually by the end of Wednesday nights, I am so ready for Wednesday nights to be over.
Mm-hmm.
I am beyond ready. But at the end of summer, I'm usually ready for them to start back up.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the routine. I'm ready to see everyone all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I am ready for the break when it comes. I know some churches go all the way through the summer, and good for them.
Good for them.
But
people ask me,
break.
people do ask all the time, like, why do you guys break? Like, it seems like it, and it's nice sometimes to have some breathing time, and summer's busy enough as it is.
Yeah,
So.
summer's very busy.
This particular summer felt very crazy, very busy.
So there you go, the top 3. We've got Serve Day coming up this Sunday, and so we're having an abbreviated service. We're going to go out and do our projects. There is going to be lunch available to you, and so make sure to take advantage of that. You've got that evening a camp celebration out at White Oak, and if you want to go to that, and then September 11th, we've got our Wednesday night groups starting, okay? All right, so let's move into the Spotlight of the Week. You ready for the Spotlight of the Week? The Spotlight of the Week is nothing. Now, you might say, Daniel, nothing is nothing. Why would that be the Spotlight of the Week? And I was thinking today, especially because we had I had our staff meeting, and I didn't have any scripture verses prepared. Usually we read scripture verses together, and I had nothing. And I was like, I could try to whip something out, or try to like just come up with an idea and pretend like I had something planned. And I was like, what if it's okay just to stay in this space of nothing and allow whatever to come out to come out? So I was just curious about you guys.
Oh boy.
Are there times when you're like, oh, I should do something? How good are you at allowing yourself to be in that I'm not doing anything, I don't have a plan, in that nothing space, and maybe God shows up, maybe it teaches you something? Because I think, particularly around here, we don't like there to be nothing. Mm-hmm. Even when we talk about the summertime, it's like, oh, we're not doing enough. We like to do things, and we feel like we've got to program stuff. But what happens when you have nothing? So are you comfortable in that space? And do you have an example of maybe a time where you were there and you're like, all right, I'm not going to do anything or try to create something here, and then it turned out to be really good? Because today, it turned out to be really good in our staff meeting. So, what do you think?
I'm just trying to think of a good example of what you're talking about. I mean, I feel like it's harder. So on a personal level, like
You don't like to do
home,
nothing.
Well, I'm okay with not doing anything.
Okay.
So I do have projects and stuff, but there are some times where there's just not much happening, and I'm okay with just like sitting and doing nothing. Mm-hmm. I didn't think that it was unusual, but the more I interact with people, I realize that a lot of people just cannot sit and do nothing. They can't just sit with their thoughts and just like have that be all they're doing. But I really have no issue doing that on a personal level. But I feel like job-wise, like working here, being only part-time right now, there's not as much space for there not to be anything right now. That's
And
just
I
what
feel
it
like
feels
we're
like
kind
to
of
me.
in that lull in between everything that's happened in the summer is done.
And everything that's about to happen.
Everything that's about to happen is about to happen, but we're not quite there yet. And we've done enough preparing that it's kind of like it's kind of like, well, I mean, yeah, there's stuff to do, but it's not, doesn't feel as busy. Like I almost have to go find stuff. But I don't know about you, but like I meet with people a lot. Not like a lot, not like Daniel or anything, but like I just find myself like, oh, I need to have a meeting with this person, oh, I need to have a meeting with this person. So I spend a lot of time with people. And that isn't a bad thing. I like days when I meet with people all day long and then I go home and then I'm peopled out. But
yeah, then you gotta be alone for a minute.
Yeah, I'm like, I tell her, like, I need 30 minutes.
Give me a moment. So I was just reminded of the passage in Psalm of come and see what the Lord has done. The desolations he has brought on the earth, he makes war cease. And to the ends of the earth, he breaks the bow, he shatters the spear, he burns the shields with fire. He says, be still and know that I am God, and I will be exalted among the nations, and I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. And
What song was that?
this is Psalm 40, I want to say 46. Psalm 46. But it's talking about how God is our refuge, and you go into a refuge, and then the refuge protects you. It's not like you have to go into the refuge and then you're like part of the wall or something. Like the refuge is what protects you. So be still and know that I am God. And Macy harps on me all the time because it's hard for me to be still and feel valuable. And I think it's hard for us to not do something and yet still feel like we have value. And particularly when it comes to being valuable in the kingdom of God and feeling like we're making a difference. And we met with preachers today, a bunch of preachers with the Ministerial Alliance, and I was talking to one of them about this, about how he feels like you can try to do all these things and it's like, oh, nothing's working, and then all of a sudden God moves and it's like, I didn't really have anything to do with that. But when one church is winning, it doesn't mean someone else is failing. Like when God's moving and working, we're all winning. But I was thinking about that today, of how do we be still and know that he's God and yet still, take advantage of the opportunities that we have. And I think it goes back to knowing who we are in Christ. I'm going to move when God tells me to, but when there's times like right now where it might not be as much going on, I need to learn how to be still in his presence. Because I'm bad about constantly wanting my mind to go. And so whether it's, you sit down, you pull out your phone and you're scrolling, or you're constantly on to the next thing, how do you be still before God? And I don't think it's a literal, you have to be still. I think it's more of a mindset. God's at work and I trust in him, and I'm gonna be at peace in his presence. Anyway, I'm not very good at it. I don't really know how to do it, but I was just thinking that we are in that in between right now of being still, and I think sometimes we're not very comfortable in that space. So what about you? Maybe you have something that you do regularly, that you are still and at peace with God, that helps you. How does that work in your life? Because I could use some help in that area. Maybe someone here has one, a suggestion for us. Okay, that's all we've got for you this week on the Ripple Effect podcast. Levi and Rachel, they've got one final thing to tell you. I'm sure that's just on the tip of their tongues. And before we go, it's going to be so profound. What do you got?
Buy your youth leader cookies.
Oh!
Buy us snacks.
You need snacks. Is this for Wednesday
snacks
nights?
for your teachers. You can get snacks for us too.
Absolutely. They're with kids as well.
They are very welcome.
All right. Any kind of snacks welcome?
Dr. Pepper.
Okay, that's a personal
drink.
thing. That's a personal thing going on over
I
here.
don't feel like I'm wrong. I feel
I
like
think most people like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Well,
It is the superior
23
23 flavors.
flavors. Wow.
Really? Wow. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you tried the whole I'm gonna get this wrong. It's a root beer and Coca-Cola mixed together. Like it's a
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's like Barq's root beer, and then you mix it with, I think it's Coke, and it supposedly tastes exactly like Dr. Pepper.
I've never tried that.
We're gonna do it.
I've done the
We're
ginger
gonna-
ale with a splash of, or what is it?
I don't know. I've never heard that
Splash
one.
of something.
But we're gonna try it. We're gonna pour Dr. Pepper, and then I'm gonna try this mixture, and we'll see. You'll probably be able to tell the difference. But okay,
So-
let's do your last
Oh,
thing.
never mind. Okay. Well, I was going to talk about, there was this really funny activity I did one time where I blindfolded some of the students and had them try
Different sodas.
drinks.
Yeah.
And so I did it with Brian Wright the one time, and I totally forgot that he was diabetic. And so right before he went, I realized that he could only have Diet Coke, which thankfully I had Diet Coke,
Right.
but all the other ones were just normal sodas.
Right.
And
So
he
it was-
would tell you, oh no, I can have anything.
Of course.
It was
I
four.
don't
It
remember
was
that.
4 cups of just Diet Coke, and he thought that all of them were totally different, and all but 3 tasted like citrus flavors, like a
Oh,
Mountain
that's
Dew, Sprite.
It's funny
and all
when you
these
get in your
different things.
head.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
okay, it's gonna
when
be
you're
different.
when you're looking for it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Sorry, that just reminded me of it. Side note.
that is
That's
really
good.
funny.
That's good.
What am I supposed to be saying again?
I don't know,
Something
just
deep
something
and
just
profound.
profound. I was just putting you on the
Something
spot. Yeah.
Don't let the busyness catch up with you, because you're most likely anyway at the end of summer, probably like what you're saying, in a lull, and the busyness can be enticing, but don't let it get to you, because then you start to forget about some of the things, and you start to forget about resting and letting go of some of those things to focus on God. So don't let it catch up with you.
That's good. Your dad always used to say the quote about the tyranny of the urgent. Don't allow that to stop you from doing the things that are most important. Because the things that are right in front of you, the urgent things, usually will push you around if you don't focus on, here are the things that need to get done, that's important, but what do I have to do? Being still with God, breathing, praying, connecting with your family. What are the things that you have to do, and don't let the tyranny of the urgent right now push you around. So made me think of that.
So profound.
See? I feel it right here. We love you all. We're so grateful that you are with us this week, and we hope that you're excited for Serve Day coming up. We hope you're excited for the camp celebration and for Wednesday nights to start back up. But until then, we will see you right here next week on the Ripple Effect podcast. See you guys later.